Welcome to the IT Service Management Associate Bridge, based on ISO IEC 20000. My name is Dr. Suzanne Van Hove, and I will be one of your course instructors. My colleague, Mark Teifer, will also deliver content. Before we get started, we have to go through and deliver the registered trademarks and copyrights, and apologies for this word-for-word reading, but it is necessary for the course. So, ITIL and the IT Infrastructure Library are registered trademarks of the Cabinet Office. ISO is a registered trademark of the International Organization for Standardization. IEC is a registered trademark of the International Electrotechnical Commission. COBIT is a registered trademark of ISACA and the IT Governance Institute. And finally, CMMI is a registered trademark of Carnegie Mellon University. So with that out of the way, what are we going to do in the Associate Bridge? Well, the Associate Bridge is here to raise up the level of understanding around the ISO 20000 standard. The Associate Bridge has a couple of prerequisites saying that you have in possession at least 2 ITIL Intermediate or Practitioner courses, which means you have worked in service management for a bit of time. So this course is going to focus on the elements that you may not have yet seen at any level or depth, which is going to be the elements around the service management system. We're going to focus a great deal on the SMS because it tells you how to manage those service management processes. We're going to specifically call out the similarities and differences between 20000 and ITIL. There are some that are very subtle. There are some that are a little bit more visible, but there are differences, but they are supportive of each other. Remember that 20000 is the international standard for best practice within service management. So there should be a level of compatibility between ITIL and 20000, which there is. We're going to focus a great deal on Deming's PDCA. It's about supporting the elements within the PDCA about audit and improvement. Those elements in ITIL are there. They don't specifically call out good auditing practices, but they certainly do call out that you need to review and improve. So there's a little bit of one of those more visible differences between ITIL and 20000. So that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at those, and these perspectives are going to be from that associate level view, that you are still going to be working underneath a consultant manager, a manager who has more experience in 20000, who has a little bit more of a defined track record. So you're going to be kind of doing and learning in that relationship, in that hierarchy. At the conclusion of this course, you'll be able to support the planning activities around the formal implementation of an SMS and the service management processes. Again, remember your role. You are here to support and provide functionality under a consultant manager, underneath a supervisor who has completed these activities in the past. You're going to support the design and transition activities of services, and you'll be able to do some management of the ongoing activities surrounding the SMS, the service management processes, and service delivery. Again, remember your role. From an associate view, you'll be able to design and implement policies and activities that guide the organizational activities that will support service delivery. In the real world, you would be doing this with guidance from a manager. You'll also be able to monitor, measure, and report on the SMS, the service management processes, as well as overall service performance. Lastly, you should be able to define and support improvement activities. So these are all objectives that are at the associate level, understanding the role of the associate, that you will be working with and for a manager, okay? So there are prerequisites for the Associate Bridge. The Associate Bridge is a fast track to the Associate Certificate in this educational schema. So you have 2 prerequisites. First of all, you need to have the Foundation Certificate in 20000. You certainly can achieve that through the Foundation Bridge. Additionally, you have to have 2 or more ITIL Practitioner or Intermediate certificates. The Practitioner certificates came from that V2 model, and they are clearly labeled practitioners. Both of those prerequisites, so 3 certificates, the Foundation in 20,000 and 2 intermediate certificates or practitioner certificates from ITIL, must be available and provided when you register for the exam. Otherwise, that exam will not be available to you. So you have to provide the proof. So if you're like many of the other individuals that I've worked with, there's always that search that's necessary to find those certificates. Make sure you go out and find them now so that you can upload them when you register for the exam. Okay, there are 2 also practical assignments. Now, let's not get confused here. There are assignments that we provide throughout the course. We consider those course assignments. They are there to emphasize the elements of the modules that you're reviewing, or the elements within the various processes of 20,000. But at the associate level, the schema requires that you complete 2 practical assignments that are reviewed and graded by an outside source. This is outside the scope of this course, and it's something that you can download and be prepared so you can sit the exam. It is a requirement that you successfully complete 2 practical assignments for the exam or for the certificate. One assignment is in around the planning and provision of services. The second assignment is around measuring, monitoring, and reporting on the provision of services. So 2 separate assignments. They are outside or they are additional to the Associate Bridge course. Okay, so the topics within the Associate Bridge, we'll talk about the general service management system requirements that we must establish and improve within the service management system. It is a continual spiral of that we plan, establish, and improve, that we talk about the elements of the service management plan, and then we deal with Deming's plan, do, check, and act. So we talk a little bit about the metrics and reporting, and then the continual improvement on those activities. The next set of topics is going to be around processes. We're going to look at processes from a very generic perspective and then dive right into the service delivery processes, which include service level management, service reporting, continuity and availability, budgeting and accounting, capacity, and information security. From there, we'll move on into the relationship processes, which will include business relationship management and supplier management, to the resolution processes of incident and service request management and problem management, then conclude with the control processes of config, change, and release and deployment. The last module will be exam tips. So the curriculum path that you're following here, and understand this curriculum schema, you have to have had a foundation. You can either get it through the bridge or the full foundation. We're sitting at that associate bridge, the fast track into the associate course. To get the associate certificate, don't forget 2 practical assignments that you must have successfully completed that are independently reviewed, and that you've completed the slides or the modules for this course, and you have the foundation in 20,000 and 2 ITIL intermediate or practitioner courses. Once you've done all that and been successful on the exam, you have 2 paths. One is to the auditor side, and the next is up the hierarchy to the consultant manager. Again, demonstrating a few more years of experience where you're now leading those 20,000 initiatives. The penultimate course, or the capstone course, is the Executive Consultant Manager, which is 2 sessions and a project, typically over 3 to 4, sometimes 5 months before that Executive Consultant Manager certificate is given or is awarded to that successful student. So that's the curriculum path, and that's the direction that we're going. We're starting at that bridge for the associate. Now, all of the exercises can be downloaded from the course material tab on the course page. These are the course exercises. If at any time you have a question, please use the question and comment box. Otherwise, let's get started.